the first to go. Okay.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, I rise to support and allow me, Honorable Speaker, to first begin by
remember, those who are contributing to this in a procedural motion on limitation of debate, time is 5 minutes for each and every contributor, including the majority leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And I hope the clerk has noted you took about 30 seconds of the 5 minutes. Honorable Speaker, I was thanking the chair of the committee and members of the committee, led by Honorable Makali Mulu, who is a very diligent member of this committee and the chair. Honorable Speaker, I rise to support this report. And many of the recommendations, Honorable Speaker, especially regarding our fiscal consolidation process, from the 3.9 that is envisaged in the next financial year 24-25 to the 3.3 in the medium term, the 2 years following the next financial year, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, as we speak about fiscal consolidation, the fiscal consolidation program, Honorable Speaker, will encompass two aspects of it, both revenue generation, and that I'm sure the Finance Committee will later in the year be bringing the Finance Bill 2025 that will deal with matters to do with revenue generation. But more importantly, Honorable Speaker, is on expenditure and how we are able to rationalize our expenditure as a country. And this is where we've had a huge challenge. And if you listen to what the Honorable Makali Mulu was saying, the media changes usually emanate from reviews of our expenditure, Honorable Speaker, where every supplementary budget comes with additional expenditure at the time when revenues are also not growing, but revenues are going down. And I do hope, Honorable Speaker, that the National Treasury this time round will adhere to what the committee and the House is recommending should we adopt this report as it is and the recommendations of the committee as they are. That, Honorable Speaker, if the National Treasury discovers within the year that our revenues are either not performing or improving, then it is imperative that they also review the expenditure side of our budget, because that is a challenge we've had. And the Honorable Dindi Nyoro, our chair of the Budget and Appropriations Committee, I know has been very keen on this, but I want to ask him that this year we must actualize what we say as a House. That because the National Treasury, and indeed not the National Treasury, I heard somebody say the other day that even our counties have borrowed from their big brother in the national government. We are seeing county governments also doing budgets based on projected revenues that are never realizable. In my own county, Honorable Speaker, half year, I think we are at 1 point something billion shillings against a projection of 8 billion shillings, 7.98 billion shillings. And it's impossible in the next half year or 4 or 5 months to the end of the financial year to achieve the revenue targets that they had. And the same happens, Honorable Speaker, for our national government. And therefore, it's imperative that the National Treasury, when they realize KRA is not up to speed in terms of the revenue that they had projected, they review expenditure downwards. Probably, Honorable Speaker, it is time, and the Budget and Appropriations Committee has food for thought on whether do we put an embargo on new expenditure. And I know this has been there, but we need to make sure that additional capital expenditure is checked. Honorable Speaker, the other thing that we must check is our current expenditure. Honorable Speaker, I am seeing in the newspapers advertisements for jobs every now and then in the public service, and many of them may not necessarily be replacements of people who have left the offices, Honorable Speaker. And this, at the end of the day, will lead to very huge recurrent expenditure that will negate the fiscal consolidation that we are trying to pursue. Honorable Speaker, as I conclude, let me say that the National Treasury, as I said, must ensure that fiscal consolidation is not just a term that exists in our books and in these reports, that it is something that they must actualize this time round, Honorable Speaker. And with that, I beg to support.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity to also contribute to this debate. Mr. Speaker, two things come to mind on this issue of our debt strategy. First, I think we must be very, very careful as members of parliament